Hey everybody, welcome to VFX and Chill. I'm Hashi. Over there is the real Seth. Seth, thank you for welcoming us to the show again. Would you mind welcoming us to the show one more time?
Welcome to VFX and Chill. I'm the real human Seth, and with me as always is Hashi. How you doing today, my friend? Hashi?
Thank you so much. Well, today, as you may have seen from the thumbnail, we are very excited because we are going to be covering a fan submitted VFX from this show called Star Trek Discovery. So that should be pretty exciting, covering a Star Trek. I don't know if we've actually done any Star Trek on this show yet.
That's so great that you're covering Star Trek on this show. Star Trek is one of my favorite shows. I'm a real Star Trekker, if you will. I love the bald guy and the green Muppet guy and all the time-traveling phone booth stuff. It's so great.
It didn't sound a lot like Seth actually is really a fan of the Star Trek. So I'm just curious. Seth, do you really watch Star Trek?
Okay, you got me. I don't actually like Star Trek that much. I'm more of a Fast and Furious guy myself.
More of a Fast and Furious guy. Well, we do actually have some Fast and Furious content today, which is cool. But I think that since Seth seems a little bit out of it today, I think that perhaps it would be best to try to find somebody else who's a little bit more qualified.
You know what? I feel unqualified to talk about the Star Trek today, so I'm going to go. But before I do, let me introduce my substitute chiller for today from the Maxon training team. Please welcome Darrin Frankovitz.
Darrin from the training team, welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you very much for welcoming us, very real Seth.
Thanks, Seth.
Hey, many of you may know Darrin from the Maxon training team. Darrin is also often in the background helping us solve issues down in the engineering room of VFX and Chill, teaching us how to use. Did you like that Star Trek reference, Darrin?
Yes, that was choice.
Excellent. And Michael, I don't know if I've really said a formal hi to you. I think that the totally real Seth was being a little bit of a poor host right there for a moment. So welcome.
How unlike the real Seth.
Excellent. So this show is so we're going to be a little bit Sethless this show, but we do have Darrin, which is awesome because Darrin has an amazing wealth of knowledge when it comes to Cinema 4D. And as you saw in our thumbnail and in the description below, we are going to be covering a specific effect from Star Trek. And while I am a general fan of the Star Trek, I am not super familiar with Star Trek Discovery, I think, which this effect is from. But before we go to that, I did want to mention Fast and Furious because why not mention Fast and Furious? I'm going to dive over to our clips screen. One of the interesting things, again, about Seth not being here today is that Hashi is attempting to run this show, and I am not good at it.
Okay.
So let me see if I can, maybe I'll share my screen. Might be a little bit better because Red Focus Entertainment here replied to my request. I had basically asked actually, no, this was just, I think this might be just a lovely unsolicited tweet. Sometimes I get inspired by the hashtag VFX and Chill family. Thank you for tagging us because that means we found it. So yeah, sometimes I get inspired by the VFX and Chill family to make things, and this is one of those things. So Red Focus Entertainment has put together this lovely trailer called Furious Jurassic World, and I thought that it would be fun to take a look at that. So let me open it up on YouTube for a second, but then I'll play it in some slightly better fidelity. So here we go. In the description, we say, if you watch VFX and Chill, you know they love raptors and are all about a family atmosphere. The recent shenanigans have inspired me to create Hollywood's True Vision, the crossover event of the century. Don and his family have saved the Earth countless times, or about 6 or so, but now they face their biggest threat yet. Chris Pratt. Excellent. So please do go check out Red Focus Entertainment's YouTube page. Subscribe. That would be awesome. You might as well. And in the meantime, let me see if I can load up that clip here in a slightly better fidelity way. So I think that, unfortunately, Michael and Darrin, you may not be able to hear this because I have not figured out how to make things work.
Speaking of hearing things, the chat has said that there is an echo when I talk and when Darrin talks. Just so you know.
Interesting. And yeah, I guessed. All right, I'm not sure which channel you're coming in through. So there's an echo.
The chat also says that we are loud and you are quiet. So we're loud and echoey, and you're quiet but smooth.
See, these are all the unseen benefits of having Seth Worley. All right, so I see that NDI guest might be grabbing all of your audio. In this particular scene, Michael and Darrin don't have individual audios, so maybe, I don't know if there's an echo in this clip screen. But either way, we're in this clip screen so we can watch this clip from the Furious World. So I'm going to pull that up here, and...
Will I be working with dinosaurs in the near future? Yes.
Last Tuesday, a team of highly coordinated drivers took down an entire military convoy in Russia. But you're going to help me catch a team responsible. Taken a week ago.
It's impossible. So that's the question. And I think that Red Focus Entertainment is going to be cast. Yeah. Oh, they made it to the screen.
One last ride.
Let me know if I should answer.
Evacuate the island. This time it ain't just about being fast. You know me.
That shot always looked wonky.
Some kind of super spy with his own private army who drives literally like a bat out of hell. Who is he?
Dom's brother.
We're being hunted.
Guys, we gotta come up with another plan. They gotta.
Yes.
Ride or die.
I would love to know how you did the fireworks from the mouth. So it felt like it volumetric.
I don't have friends. I got family.
It's great. It just... Oh my gosh. So fantastic. I love it. Okay, I'm coming back to here, and I'm going to see if I've fixed that doubled up issue or not. I hope that I have.
Stu Mashowitz in the chat is typing in all caps, so either he's rendering in After Effects in 2010, or he's very excited about this crossover from Red Focus Entertainment. T-Rex Fire was a flamethrower from Action VFX with Super Comp to put it all together.
Oh, amazing.
According to Red Focus Entertainment in the chat, who has not yet specified if we should call them anything other than Ms. Red Focus Entertainment.
Excellent. And anyone else in the chat, please feel free to let us know if our collective voices are any more balanced out now, because I don't know what I'm doing.
And less echoey.
Stu also says that you should never render with caps lock on because it will help you catch if something has gone awry in your render. He didn't say that last part, but that's the reason why. If you have caps lock off, you can actually see it happening, and you might notice something. And instead of waiting 2 hours for your render to finish, and then have it be bad, you can stop it, fix it, and then re-render. Red Focus Entertainment wants us to call them Miles.
Excellent.
Which reminds me, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is in theaters now. Go see it. It's pretty.
Woo.
Andrew Smith says thumbs up on audio, and Stu is saying that I am correct for his reason for not rendering with caps on.
Excellent.
Max Black says, y'all sound good. which is lovely because I have been taking singing lessons.
Aw, it sounds...
I haven't actually.
Oh.
But you'd think I would, living near Nashville. Speaking of Nashville, if you have not yet heard and you are in the Nashville area, the Design and Animation Tour is coming to Nashville. The Design and Animation Tour is a pretty cool event with several different segments: Create, Connect, and Celebrate, where people get to meet up and talk about creating things, connect with each other, and have a fun celebration time. There are some cool designers doing creative presentations. Patrick 4D, EJ Hassenfratz, some weird guy called Michael Zalapsky are all showing off how to do things in Cinema 4D and After Effects with Red Giant tools. And the Connect panel is going to be a nice panel discussion from industry folks, including Andrew Kramer, some guy called Seth Worley, Darby Facinto, fan of and friend of the show and former guest, Vernon Roberts, Sarah Ann Banks, and Maria, whose name I am not going to try to pronounce, her surname I'm not going to try to pronounce because it is Icelandic and I don't want to be offensive. But it's going to be a lovely, lovely time. And there's going to be a live stream of it if you can't make it in person. But if you can make it in person, grab your tickets now. The link is in the chat.
Excellent. Check out that, especially if you're in the Nashville area. All right. Thank you, Michael, for the update on, I completely forgot the name of it. What?
Design and Animation Tour.
And Animation Tour.
www.gotodat.com.
Excellent. I do know that I have seen some very cool signage created for this event. Darrin, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I do believe that you assisted with the visuals for our promotion of this event.
For the Design Animation Tour, I did contribute to the neon light scene in Cinema 40.
Do you have a still of that or a render of that you can pull up at all? I would love to.
I do. Let me...
Excellent. I won't switch over to you until you're ready.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I will switch over to my screen here, which I think I also have the audio problem solved now. But I had asked on Twitter what we wanted to do today. I gave people the A and B option of a 20-minute timer episode where we had to try to rush VFX in 20 minutes, or this other thing. And my goal with this wording was to answer the survey and leave a GIF to support your request. But we only got a few GIFs in return. We got this one from Alberto Padana, and it's not specifically a visual effect, so I didn't know what to replicate. And then Triam Visual responded with a 20-minute timer. So the survey, I did not get as much out of this as I wanted from the 32 of you who did vote on this. So do better. I'm just kidding. I love you all. But when I eventually said specifically, what's an effect that you want to learn? Jesse Navarro was asking a little bit about Wonder Studio and trying to set up an FBX model in there. I would point you to Aaron Rabinowitz's really cool first look at Wonder Studio, which is on YouTube. It's just a very good breakdown of all the steps you need to take to do something. However, I don't believe it gets into creating a custom model or uploading your own FBX. The one time that I did it, I actually had the folks at Wonder Studio literally take my model and fix it to work from within. And so that's the only way that I was able to do something with Wonder Dynamics. So good luck. Reach out to them on Discord if you're having trouble with something, and hopefully they can get back to you. Speaking of Aaron Rabinowitz, you all should check out over on Aaron's YouTube channel, I would imagine, you can see this really cool free planet blueprint that he's releasing for Unreal Engine. So it's basically like, a nice planetary creation system, so you can import and create your own planets with some of the stuff that Aaron's included, that is included and able to be free. And also it can be used with any other kind of cool planetary maps and things like that. So do check out this video from Aaron. And if you're an Unreal person, check out this planetary, this cool planetary template thing.
So so if you're the opposite of Seth this morning.
What? Seth,
it was definitely very real. If you're an Unreal person.
No, Seth is a very, very real person. Real in all of our hearts.
Wow, guys, that looks really great.
See, Seth already thinks that we're doing a good job at what we're doing.
If I start sharing, does it kick you off?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's see what Darrin's sharing. That
There it is.
it's like this and like that. Tell me what you did for this, or that rather.
This isn't the original version. If any of you out there are following the quick tips on the Maxon training team, I just released a couple on creating versions. So this is a version of the scene, but the original one is this.
Ooh, I like those bricks better.
You like the red brick?
Yeah.
Okay. Michael, what do you think? Red or white?
Oh, I like red bricks better. They look more realistic. White bricks are only ever painted white with that annoying spackle thing that people do to try to look like an old French town.
Oh, I like white bricks. Okay, cool.
But they're not real.
No, they're not.
Oh, thank you,
But
Darrin.
no, it's cool. It's cool. We should start doing more unrealistic interior design stuff. We've got the technology now. People can make fake red bricks. They should start making fake other colors of bricks, including gray. I think that's a good idea.
That sounds great to me. So, jumping back to Twitter, and I know I'm spending a lot of time here just because I want to show you that your input is valuable to the show. And so here from Sexism, we had this suggestion. So
is this someone who just really prefers trumpets versus saxophones?
they're just really into like the philosophy behind sexism. But I saw this and I was like, that definitely looks like a Star Trek, and I didn't know. I'm going to be pronouncing it that way all day, folks. So I didn't know what this was, and I was like, "What, Darrin? What's going on?" Darrin is our resident. I go to Darrin for all Star Trek related questions.
I guess I'm the Trekkie of the show,
Yes.
which is sad because I don't know enough to actually be a Trekkie, but I do love and need my Star Trek. So this is, I believe it's the USS Discovery, and I'm not sure if it's the first time they used it, but it's this new Spore drive. It's
Spore drive.
Yeah, intended to be a replacement to warp drive.
Is it just so they could have a new kind of visual effect, or
Yeah.
And also, I think it sort of saves time getting from point A to point B. It's much faster
It's
than
classic.
warping?
Well,
than
we were.
warping. Yeah, it's faster.
Then, sorry, how is it faster than warping through? And you know what? It doesn't matter. I don't care.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
It's
amazingly
mushrooms,
cool
dude.
visual effects.
It's
job.
mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
It's
That's
all
what
based
they
on
were.
mushrooms.
Like,
That's what they
great.
were on when they wrote the script. No, seriously though, it's a gorgeous visual effect. Do you have a longer version of it, Hashi? where it
Yes.
starts
Let me
at the beginning?
pull it up here in the clips window if I
There's
can.
a part
I'd
of
be
this
working with
Oh, so
that oh god, the Spore drive like jump sequence that's missing in that clip where because the design of the ship has this like disconnected ring. Disc where like the
Goes the
bridges and
other?
everything rotates the opposite direction, and then it starts doing that flipping thing. It's
Oh.
just awesome.
Gosh, do it
Oops.
again.
Wait,
do it
wait,
again.
come back. Oh, I didn't say the loop. Sorry. Loop. You can loop. It's okay. Play back. There we go. Okay, so
that just looks so cool.
so that is pretty neat.
Love it.
So once I looked up what this like full shot looked like outside of the GIF, I was like, that's pretty cool, and also
It's a
would
cool
be a
shot.
fun like challenge to try to kind of like take on really quickly. So let me see if I'm able to pause this at all and scrub through.
I'm thinking lots of radial symmetry.
Yeah,
Or
it's-
I'm so glad I'm here for this, because the second I saw this, I sort of lost my stuff and I was like, I have to try this, and I haven't yet.
I mean, it's fascinating. One of the things that I noticed, Michael, one of the very first episodes that you and I did when Seth wasn't able to be here was based on Cruella, where there was a scene where she like has a dress built out of flash paper or something like that, and then it burns away to reveal an even cooler thing or something. And I noticed that if you watch slowly in the background, there's this explosion effect looks a lot like what we came up for that episode, where we used I think the shatter effect and then roughen edges, and then you showed me that we could use Vegas to create these little like sparks around the edge. So there's this teeny moment here that I feel like is a very lo-fi, like it even looks like those little scraps of paper. I think that you might have genuinely created some little like ash sprites or something and then did them in particular on that episode. I don't remember exactly, but
if you need a refresher, the link to the episode of VFX and Chill is in the chat for y'all to watch later after this one.
That I thought that we ended up with a pretty good end result on that episode.
It was a surprise. It took us a bit, but then at the end it was like, oh, that worked.
Oh, and oh my gosh, it even had a Star Trek reference in it, because the joke in that one was that I was showing up to the Star Wars convention, which was going on at the time.
Oh yes.
But then I burn off my Jedi robe to show that I'm dressed in a Star Trek outfit. So see, we've come full circle, full Spore
full circle,
drive.
like this ship does.
Like this ship. So yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. No, it's such a beautiful visual effect. It looks like, it looks for all the world like a cloner with like a plane effector doing rotation and then using a little bit of a delay to make some of them not rotate the same just for a second. And then, like you said, shatter the background away and kind of fade it away. And then advanced lightning. Or possibly, if you want to make it 3D, there's that new lightning... what's the word for it?
Electric spline modifier.
Electric spline modifier. Thank you, Darrin.
That my favorite 70s band.
The electric spline modifier. That's now in the asset browser. So that would get you some cool lightning effects because you can tie points to parts of the geometry and have it then, we just need to start making it.
We should start making it.
So excited.
All right. So clearly there are several ways that you could approach making this. And one of the reasons why I'm really happy to have Darrin on here is because Darrin knows how to approach this from the Cinema 4D side of things. And I would use, like when I saw this, I was like, After Effects. I could do this in After Effects. And like that was my first thought. And so I love, and Michael straddles both disciplines, and I feel like we could show maybe some simultaneous approaches to doing this and maybe flip back and forth a little bit, if that sounds good to everybody.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm surprised, Michael, that you didn't think what I thought, which was Mo instance.
So many different ways you can do this,
right?
And it's so pretty. I'm excited to see you. I think it'd be great. Like, so we've got 90 minutes.
90 minutes. Okay.
So yeah.
So Darrin, I'm switching over to your screen for a second because you're starting in a similar place to where I would be starting, which is with this model that was built by. Let's see. I have it in the file name there. Let's see. What does it say? 20. What does it say there, Darrin? The USS Discovery by...
25IACHEN. Yes,
thank you very much for this lovely build of the Discovery.
How do you say that? 25-ichen?
25-ichen? I'm not sure.
25-ichen?
So I started... I downloaded this other model by Hulock, of kind of an older looking Enterprise. And we were thinking a little bit about maybe one of the things we were joking around about is maybe making a version of it that looks more like the original Star Trek series. Like how would they have approached a similar looking effect? But I do actually want to start with trying to replicate the real looking thing. So I'm going to switch back to you, Darrin. That is very, very cool. So tell us what you've got going on so far.
Let's see. So I opened up the model, and I just got, doing classic Cinema 4D. I got the standard sky, and I loaded actually one of the grayscale Gorilla skies from GSG Plus, Space Nebula D. which I definitely want for all of that nebularific, nebrific color.
Ooh, that is really
I don't
cool.
know. But
It is a gorgeous HDR.
It absolutely is. Those guys are doing such a great job with their assets.
They really are, and I believe that they had a new asset drop this week. If you all want to go
Huge
check
asset
it
drop
out.
this week. Yeah.
Over 500
What?
new models.
What? How do they find the time?
Well, they partnered with Happy Toolbox for some of them.
Well, there
that
you go.
makes sense. And they have the famous K, keeping them in line over there.
Oh, K. Yeah. We miss K.
We miss you, K.
Yeah,
So what are you doing
Grace
right now,
Gorilla
Darrin?
Gone but never forgotten.
Sniped her from us.
Are you
What
moving
was that, Michael?
Are you moving the anchor point around?
Yeah, I'm moving the position because I want this to rotate from like the center of these rings.
So you're in Cinema 4D and you're switched into the access modification tool, which is keyboard shortcut
Right.
L for those who want
That's
to move fast. And that lets you move the anchor point of something, in this case, a null object that contains all the geometry below it without actually moving the object. So it is a really handy way to get your anchor point where you want it to be.
That does seem very handy. Now, I'm going to start working with the same model over here, but I would like to, I'm going to do the cheating version of this, where I'm going to throw it into After Effects, throw it into Element, and try to just make something that works really quickly. That is all.
Well, what's really interesting about Element is that it is at its core, and what it was originally built to be was more of a particle generator. So you can have two instances of the ship in two different locations with a bunch of different copies on top of each other, and use the animation engine to just transition from state 1 to state 2, basically, and have a bajillion copies loop around without you having to really do anything.
So that would be interesting, because I always like use Element completely as like a standalone 3D thing. Look at what you got there. That's so pretty.
And it's right in the viewport. Like, it just looks stunning.
Yeah.
My
there.
gosh.
Yeah.
Have you changed your camera? Yes, you got a wide angle lens on there. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I changed the focal length sensor size.
Pro tip: always change your focal length,
Always
because
change your
everyone
focal
leaves it
length.
at 35, and it all looks the same. And you be a director of photography of your 3D scenes, folks. Pick the focal length that tells your story the best way.
Exactly.
Agree.
All right.
Wholeheartedly.
Oh my gosh. So I'm definitely getting behind here, but gosh, there's so many cool things that happened this week that I kind of wanted to mention on the show, but I don't know if they're. We'll do them at the end. We'll focus on this Star Trek Discovery. So, Darrin, I'm going to switch over to me for a second, but we'll check in with you in a second. I am just opening up a new project in After Effects, and I'm adding Element to a scene, and I'm going to try to import that Discovery model. What's really likely is that it'll come in, but it won't have any of the oh no, it's all wonkadoodle. Oh, I bet I know why. I bet there's animation in it.
That there is.
Oh, there's totally animation. They tried animating it here, and that's not what I need.
So
Okay.
just delete all the keyframes and then.
So Control A and then delete. And then save. Did I fix it? Okay. Hey, look at that. Fixed it. Okay, I'm going to do a similar thing, Darrin, where I'm going to, in Element, I'm actually just going to move this model. Boop. Actually, I want it to be smaller, so I'll check normalize size. And then, let's see here. Let's make it so this model has its dish centered also. So let's look at the, how do you look at different views? Top. Okay, that looks pretty aligned. And left, dish looks pretty aligned now. All right. So I lost all of my textures because of one of the standard things that happens when you import something from Sketchfab, which is that everything likely went to the reflectance channel of all of these materials. So if I look at these, like the main ship material here, everything is going to be over in the reflectance channel for some reason, which is very silly. And it's often under
you want to know why?
Why does that happen, Michael? I don't know.
So it's building the materials in a realistic way. The reflectance channel in Cinema 4D works like Redshift does in that it's a physically based rendering system.
I see.
So because remember, everything you're looking at in the whole world is reflective. That's why you're getting it's light bouncing off of the thing going back to your eye. So if in this was added to Cinema 4D, oh geez, quite a few years ago. But the regular color reflection setup was not physically accurate. Now, if you run everything through reflectance, it's more physically accurate. So you get more Redshift-like or Octane-like results, but not as fast to render because it's CPU-based. But that's why. That's the reason why, is because the Sketchfab materials that you're importing are physically based materials, so they bring them into Cinema 4D as physically based materials.
That's silly for me. Or that's difficult for me.
Silly for your workflow.
Silly for my workflow where I'm trying to cheat. But yeah, Darrin is able to go forth and boldly discover.
Is that what it is?
To boldly go where no one's gone before.
I said to go forth and conquer because that's definitely what they do in Star Trek.
They like
try
to
take
conquer
over
things.
and interfere in every culture they come across.
Yeah, they're ruled by a kind of a general principle called manifest destiny. Space manifest destiny.
So there's a problem with using the Mo instance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, any guesses?
Mo instances, Mo problems.
Yeah. That problem is it's an awesome clone generator. I mean, basically the idea is it's an instance, but every frame, and you choose how many of those frames, it will create. It'll sort of, make an instance. Right. So the faster something is, the farther apart they are, the slower it is. The closer together they are. I need to, and so it's based on like how fast it's moving, and I need more control over it. So it's a cool idea at first, but Michael, you were right on the money when you said a cloner. So I think I'm going to go, 3, 0 position, and just rotate it that way.
I love that you've already got results going on.
I have no idea how I would do this in After Effects. I'm not an After Effects guy.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I'm going to try to figure out how to what I can possibly do to try to start catching up a little
Natively in After Effects would be tricky. There is currently a native 3D model import. It's not quite production ready yet, but you could natively bring it in there and just animate each instance individually. I still like the idea of using element as the particle generator part and just having one instance spun a bunch and then transition from point A to point B using the animation engine between them. I think would be the fastest way to do it.
That does make sense.
But you do have to get elements set up first with all the materials and blah blah blah. I think there's this. I think you have an option on import into Cinema 4D of getting physically based materials or not, Hashi, which might make things faster for you.
That could make sense.
Yeah, you may give that a try, so it'll build standard materials instead of the physically correct ones. Because then you have to relink all your textures, and it'd be highly annoying.
Yeah, because what I'm doing over here is totally just a goofy, quick throwing on a handful of the textures that they already have within Element. And let's see, to spin it, I'm going to do the create a null object. Let's switch to a transparent background for a second so I can scale this up a bit, and I'll add a camera. And let's see. So the angle is something kind of like that, right? So here's that. I do need a star field in the background, and I kind of want to be able to use that one as well. So let me see if I could do that. I will go to where did you store your stuff, Hashi? HDRIs, space. This is from the Grayscale Gorilla set again. And just so we have good comparisons, you used Space Nebula D, I think.
Oh, sorry. Yes, sir.
Sweet.
Space Nebula Darrin.
And I'm gonna replace this eventually, but I do think that I still want something in the background behind everything that I'm doing. So let's go ahead and save this into our folder here. I'm forgetting everything that I do. Hashi show. There we go. All right, so I've sort of got an enterprise in here, and just for the heck of it right now, I'm just going to put this EXR in the background so I have something for it to show against before we do some real, creating our own stuff for it.
I mean, you could just use Trapcode Horizon to get you one that responds to the After Effects camera real quick.
That is very true. Let's
might
do
make
that
life
real
easier
quick.
for you.
It will look a lot prettier, huh? So let's create a new solid, and then we'll add Trapcode Horizon. I pressed W, Horizon.
Trapcode Horizon.
So for that, I want an image map. I want that Grayscale Gorilla texture. There we go. Look at that. Now I'm tied with Darrin. Sort of. Mine definitely looks just as good as this. Oh, that's awesome. Oh my God, you're doing so well.
Thank you. I'm trying.
The chat is saying, number one, they are laughing at the things we're saying that are funny, and that there are some really good tips already so far today.
Yeah, that's what happens if you put Darrin in a room. Like you'll get really cool things.
No, you guys are very sweet. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, I needed to ramp up.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to here, and then I'm just gonna quickly ask Seth what he thinks of this.
Wow, guys, that looks really great.
I actually need
thanks.
some help.
Thanks, Seth. Seth thinks it's looking really great, so that's good. Let's head back. What have you got there? You're editing curves already?
Yeah, I need to. I mean, look, I think I got the basic elements here. I have the cloner creating just a couple of clones, and I'm animating that spreading out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the whole cloner rotating. Now I just got to get the motion because it's sort of slowing down. I need it to sort of speed up, Like that initial separation happens pretty quickly. Can you show the...
Oh yeah, let's pull up the clip again.
At the very start, the initial separation is slow, and it just
Yeah, it just separates and then spins, basically. Like it just goes whoop, spins,
so separate, and then starts to spin.
Yeah, so there's some overlapping.
There's just a tiny bit of overlap.
Yeah,
I'm so looking forward to getting this lightning in there because there's like so many different ways to do it. You could use particular, you could use X particles.
I want to use some universe in there.
There's advanced lightning in After Effects. Like there's so many different ways to do the lightning, so I'm very excited about that part too.
Wait a minute.
This is just such a cool visual effects shot.
You guys, I just realized something about this model.
Yes.
It's the disc is already spinning.
Yes.
That's what was messing me up. They have it's animated already. Thanks a lot, 21.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. While you work on that, over here in Element, I know that it's basically like a particle system, and kind of hidden behind our heads here is the effects window over here. But you can, let's see, what can I do?
You can dock the effects panel to the left side.
Yeah, I know.
Because you've got plenty of space.
Fine. Let's see.
Let's put the project put it to the left side of the comp panel. I was saying that works too.
Oh, good point. Then it'll be where I want. Okay, good point. Yeah. All right. So what we've got here is I went to the particle replicator and turned that to 3. The replicator shape I just did point because I figure that's all in the same place. But then I run into some weird issues because down here we've got replicator effects and we've got a lot of things like scatter and positional noise. And then down here under toward the bottom you have like rotational noise and you have randomized angle and rotation random. But there's not a per step thing like there is in mirror. So like this, I saw the Z rotation for particle, and I thought maybe that'll be incremental, but it's not. It's that seems to just be it's rotating all three of them in the same place. So I did notice that if you do rotation random, oh, that's kind of cool. There we go. I think this is better actually.
Oh my God!
Wow, guys, that looks really great.
Thank you, Seth. So let's see. So I'm going to undo that. But I guess I could do random rotation X, Y, Z. And if I do Z, I do get to a point that is similar to what's supposed to be happening. It's just not as artfully controlled. I could Z rotation randomize. Oh no, not that. I don't want that. But this one looks like I could keyframe. So I'm going to have to compromise and use this Z rotation random. A little bit less control than I wanted.
Raul Sosa from the chat says you have to use multi-object.
Oh, is that down here?
Mm-hmm.
Enable multi-object.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that will give you a whole bunch more controls.
Oh my gosh. Z rotation is this a multiplier? Wait.
Yeah, so rotate your main a little bit.
Let's see, rotation order. So multiplier, Z multiplier.
Yeah, so turn it up a little bit and then
So
rotate your main particle.
So my main particle needs to be. Oh wait. I wonder if it's from the orientation or the rotation here. Okay, so that rotation is set to random number.
Raul, feel free to chat any more tips you'd like to more than just those six those 6 words.
You see, so I'm getting some weird stuff when I do the multi-object because I think that it's also breaking it up by material.
It is breaking up by material. Yeah, so that might not be doing it for you.
So it feels like there's some
there is a way.
But I'm going to stick with.
No, there's a really easy way to do it.
Go into make 3 of them.
Hashi, just listen to Michael, dude.
Go into your scene setup and set that particle as not just group 1, but also put group 2. So that number drop down up the top right, up right a little bit more. Oh, stop that! Don't do that.
This one?
Delete. Yeah, undo that. No, just undo it completely. Go back to what you had. One thing, but in that drop down to the right, just a little bit of your mouse where it says 1. Also add 2.
Oh, like add a new group folder, right?
Yeah. No, don't add a new group folder. It should be able to have both of them on one thing. Like they should be able to have 1 and 2. If not, just duplicate it.
Wait, what is this?
I think you can do 2. Well, anyway, duplicate it then. Fine, doesn't matter. Duplicate it, put 1 in group 2.
I mean, I guess if I wanted this the straightforward control over this, I could do that. I could just do duplicate.
No. You just put 1 on 1. Just leave that alone. Stop it.
Why?
Stop. You don't need to do that.
Why?
Hit OK and go out.
When there's 2 copies of it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so there's 2 copies.
And then go under group 2 and turn it on.
Okay.
Make sure it's on. And then just rotate this particle somewhat.
Okay, so let me create a group null for this one. Let me
just rotate it like 360 just for funsies.
Okay, just for funsies. Let's rotate it. Do you think in the orientation or the?
Yes, that way.
Okay.
Oh.
No, probably not that.
You
probably
know what?
the actual.
I don't know. Probably the actual rotation. Yeah.
I was going to do that.
Just rotate like 360. Or to get 90. That's fine. Okay. And then in the animation engine. Make sure you have 3 copies in both your particle, your system 1 and system 2.
So much work.
No, it's not. It's very easy. Make sure you've got 2 copies, like 3 copies in both sections. Under the animation engine, just enable the animation engine and put it to 50%.
What?
Animation engine tick box up top. Up a little bit.
Enable.
Right.
Okay.
And Go to 50%, and it might do what we want. What it does is it animates between state 1 and state 2, basically.
Oh, of group 1 and group 2.
You could have, it'll animate between the two groups. So if
Weird.
So move that animation slider, basically.
Okay.
On the effect. Go back to element and do that animation slider, and you'll watch what happens.
Okay. Animation. It's going from position 1 to position 2. Wait, and then a second later, does that one? What?
Because it's moving each particle. Like you can specify how it controls. So you can move
Finish group 1 and 2
over X. Yeah.
I see. It
animates between the states. So you could have like a bunch of clones in a sphere and a bunch of clones in a cube, and then just animate from group 1 to group 2, and you have all those particles in this, your 3D models in this case, move from a sphere to a cube shape. Some of them will scale out, scale in, but now Enya Wedblack in the chat is asking, couldn't you use trapcode echo? Isn't that trapcode? Yes, you could use trapcode echo to get multiple copies of something, but they won't intersect in 3D space correctly. You would get multiple copies repeating on top of each other.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
And Stu is saying turn the left part topwise. I'm not sure.
Turn the left part topwise. Okay, here's what I'm going to do, everybody. I've created 3 copies of the frickin' ship. I don't remember. Let's see if we go to our clips again. So it starts that way.
There's 3. Right. Yeah. So then animates to where they look equally spaced, and then spins.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to add some Z rotation keyframes on the group 2 and 3 null that will allow them to rotate probably 1 to 60 and 1 to 120 or something, right? But this way. So let's rotate this one to negative 120. Wait, am I doing
that
math
I don't
right?
think you need to go that far. You just need 1 at 90 and 1 at 45.
No, but it should be negative 60 and negative 120, I think.
If you think so.
I do. Right? Because I'm making it into the 3 things. So it's got to ease.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Out of. Okay, so it's easing like that, and then this rotation. Darren's going to be done when I cut back to him, by the way.
Oh yeah, my rotation's done.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't know why you guys are wasting time in After Effects, but that's cool.
No.
Whatever.
Oh, you hurt me. You hurt me. Okay, so
it's just so easy.
Let's do negative
to do
10.
this part.
I know it seems like that, but that's just what they want you to think.
It is so easy.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna make my curve so it slowly starts up, and then it goes really fast, and then it stops kind of more abruptly. Okay, this is totally gonna work. It's gonna be perfect. Okay, Darrin, you have yours ready to play?
I was gonna render it, but yeah, I'm watching your. I'm showing my screen. Okay, yeah, I'm ready. Okay. So what do you got? So we got a close up showing the disc first, and then it cuts, and then.
Oh, because you can do multiple. Yeah. You and your multiple cameras.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good.
So now I'm doing the electric arcs with Rocket Lasso.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So back here, having not watched this, this is the way I like to work. Don't preview it before sharing it with everyone. What happened to everything? My preview window's down here. This is confusing. Here we go. Oh, no. I forgot to nest these 2 within this one. Okay, so group 2 and group 3 also need to be parented to group 1. And that looked like it was too many rotations, so I'm just going to quickly skip to the last keyframe, and instead of negative 10 times, I'm going to say negative 5. Okay, let's see. Without, oh no, not enough. Okay, just too slow, I'm starting too early on this Z rotation. I shouldn't be starting yet. I should be waiting a second for those things to get separated and then let it slowly accelerate and then slow down, right? So it's like, there we go. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then right at the end, I've got to undo these keyframes. So let's see, wherever it stops, let's undo these. So let's add a quick keyframe there, then have them drop back down to 0.
Raul says you can forget the multi-object, go to product rotation, and randomize it. Yes, Hashi did do that, but it doesn't give you the control to get the nice, perfectly evenly spaced, because in the reference, it is a perfectly spaced out thing. The random rotation gets you close, but you're not going to get that even rotation that you do doing it the way Hashi's doing it now.
Also, can you control the direction? It's random?
You can make it random by axis. Like, you can make it random on an axis, but this is getting you the exact... That's
but
why
it'd be
it's so
like
fast,
positive and negative, right?
Those guys are going to be so dizzy inside here. All right. Also, this might be a little bit long. So let's look at all of our keyframes. I'm just going to press U, get all of our keyframes for all this stuff here. And
hang on, even in the reference, it spins so fast.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it gets really fast,
Hashi.
For sure.
Do that again, Hashi.
Oh, so...
Talk about that tip you just did.
So I had my 3 groups selected, and then I tapped U, that reveals all of their keyframes. And then if you go to one of the outermost groups and hold down Alt, you can then click and squeeze your whole animation to a different timing. Because I think the whole original shot is just 7 seconds. So this whole part must take place in, this amount of time or something. So,
but it's a good way to proportionally move all your keyframes in time. It's very easy to do this in Cinema 4D as well without weird keyboard shortcuts. You just select them and then grab the slider at the top.
So when you do it here in After Effects, does it also scale the
animation
tangents
curves?
on the curves?
Mm-hmm. So
that's better than Cinema.
So this is kind of cool. I'm getting a little bit. Oh, am I getting an overshoot right there? Oh yeah, because that should be there. I kind of like the way it. I guess it slows down a little bit more at the end than I thought. I thought it was actually like it popped that way, but it seems like it slows down. Darrin, do you want to?
No, I had a question. I had a question. In series, like, it's spinning really flipping fast. Does it turn off? Like, is everyone strapped in? It turns off gravity, so no one dies from G-forces, or how does
no G-forces? It's all relativity. The inertial dampeners know it's spinning and
so
stop you.
I'm actually not part of the engineering crew, and I have not yet successfully started my journey into the academy. So I'm actually not sure about the science. Yeah.
That's okay.
I still have some paperwork to do before I can apply for the for admission to the academy.
Well, I thought that the academy was more like military service, if I'm to believe J.J. Abrams.
What are you doing right now, Darrin?
So right now, I'm trying to figure out the spline that I want to get in here and clone for the electricity.
Okay.
So I gotta randomize this. So that's already in there. So we're gonna go rotation, just arbitrarily do this. We're gonna crank these up. Okay, I'm gonna make these a lot bigger. There we go. Yeah, because I want it sort of going through everything, right? And then I need basically to break it up. And Rocket Lasso, I could probably just grab a preset. Like, what's this? I should download that and use that one.
There's never underestimate checking out the presets as a starting point.
Dash spline modifier.
You're doing the dash spline modifier and then the electric spline modifier. That's a clever idea.
You know what's up. Michael knows what's up, everybody.
What?
I can't hide anything from you, man.
That's the problem with this show. I can't pretend, I can't feign more knowledge than I have because Michael's sitting right there.
Nux says the spin seems obvious to do in Cinema 4D, but should you do the lightning there too? I'm hoping yes. You could do it both places. If you do the lightning in Cinema 4D, then you get reflections from that lightning on the model when you render.
Which I think, dude, if we go back to the clip, I don't think the lightning has any interactive lighting on it.
Effect.
It's totally
I think they did that in post. Yeah.
Yes, they used.
Oh yeah, they totally did in post. It's not
Universe Electrify.
It's not like reflecting in it.
Oh my gosh, you could actually make a look like this with Universal Electrify if you wanted to get.
I
really
am
dumb.
definitely going to try using Universal Electrify.
That's gonna be so hilarious, Hashi. I'm on board with that.
Hilarious. See, the words that you use to describe my work, my art.
No, it's such
good.
it's such a clever shortcut to just get to a good result. I love it. It's so good.
Oh, thank you. In the meantime,
I think you could get really cool lighting with Tropical in particular. You could get it shooting out and use the displacement to get really cool lightning effects. I would probably, if I were tasked with making this shot, and they said we need the thing to spin to be 3 copies to come together, then lightning everywhere. I would probably use X particles with their electric modifier because you can make splines shoot between particles. So I'd make particles on the ship, and I'd make a sphere around the ship that is distorted and have particles on both, and just use the electric modifier to
Whoa,
spawn
wait.
the splines
I'm sorry.
between.
Wait. Start over with that. Say that again. I want to do it.
Now, you could do this natively in Cinema 4D with probably Espresso or C nodes, but the idea is that you spawn points on the ship, spawn points on a sphere or some other shape that is distorted, so it's not an exact sphere outside the ship, and then randomly spawn splines between points on the ship and points on that, arbitrary shape, sphere, we'll say, displaced sphere. And then you apply some sort of noise modifier to those splines that ramps up from.
Okay. Yeah, I changed my mind. I don't want to do it.
I mean,
I
if you
think
have
that's
X
a really
particles,
good
it's
idea,
really
but
simple.
I don't want to mess with generating points. I like the idea though. I mean, I'm thinking like a tracer. So I could just clone onto the ship.
Yes.
Right, and then connect all elements.
Yeah.
Do you have this model, Michael?
Do I have that model? I do not, and
are you on our Dropbox?
It adds a level of complexity to Hashi's setup to have 2 of us screen sharing, and I'd rather avoid causing that issue with it.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, I've not demonstrated the prowess to get that going.
But no, this way is better because I can chat for both techniques rather than me trying to. Because if I start doing something, I'm either so distracted I don't get work done, or I'm so focused on work I don't get chatting done.
Oh, geez, that is
difficult.
It's fast.
All right, so
we are not on your screen.
But look
yet.
at oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Oh, you know what? See, I don't know how to.
But look at this. Like you can cut between different angles of this 3D shot you've created. That's the drawback for me. I'm trying to exactly replicate this camera shot. And let me tell you, if you are like a big corporation, you would never get away with replicating a well-known shot from a movie when unveiling a new product. All right. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Those are, I like those. It's like little celebration streamers for a second. It's like a ticker tape parade.
I'm going for
Traveling through space and time?
Or say again?
Space? Are they traveling through space and time, or just space? Or are they going through dimensions? Oh, Jason Murphy says it's supposed to be a multi-dimensional thing, so they're not actually spinning. They just look like they're spinning because they're dimension jumping.
Exactly. You see, that was your own, own perspective you were throwing into the mix. You didn't realize.
Yeah, because I was thinking they were jumping through space. I wasn't thinking of jumping through dimensions. This is what I get for not watching the show.
But I bet if it can jump through dimensions, I hope that it never malfunctions for the odd episode and they go through time. Darrin?
When would Star Trek go through time?
Oh my gosh.
Wait,
I think that we need to stop the show and watch a little movie called First Contact in its entirety right now.
Can we do that? Is that cool?
Yes.
I'm in.
Welcome everybody. This is now officially a live commentary. Star Trek First Contact.
Yes. I got rocket utility splines. Awesome. You know why that's awesome, Michael?
I do know why it's awesome. I have rocket utility splines, and I use them.
Tell us why it's awesome.
It gives you the ability to do stuff procedurally to splines that you kind of always wanted to do.
I am always
like
in
on the
secret
fly,
thinking about
like
things that I would do to splines.
But like in this case, you can just smooth them out, so you can get the nice jaggedy look, but then add that little bit of smoothness over top of them, like the reference has. Because the reference it's a jaggy-ish lighting, but it's not wholeheartedly jaggy. I still like. I think they might have used particular. The more I look at that reference, I think they might have used particular to make it.
I hope they did.
Stu says currently it looks like it is traveling under his sofa with all those little hair splines.
Oh my gosh. That is horrifying and accurate. Okay.
I mean, I haven't seen under Stu's sofa, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, it looks exactly like that.
I mean, I would imagine anything that Stu has got nebulas everywhere.
Nebula's just painted
Star
all over
Treks and wars.
the floor.
There we go.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's
Okay.
not. Michael, do you know about this? This Rocket Smooth? Because I'm having trouble dialing.
What are you trying to do?
I want it to be more smooth. I don't want to see these corners.
Interesting. All right.
What sort of interpolation have you set on that spline?
It's default. You mean the
No,
intermediate?
not that one. Not that one. On the rocket spline. On the rocket lasso tool. Go to the spline tab.
Oh, look at this. What's this? Do I go here?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, dude. Nailed
No
it.
I love rocket lasso tools. So I'm a huge fan. Highly recommend.
All right, let's jump into the wide shot. Press play. Just sort of see.
Stu says first contact may or may not contain one of his shoes. And Harry Frank has chimed in that technically everything may or may not contain Stu's shoe. It's true.
It's true.
My
The
house
Schrodinger's
may or may
Stu's
not
shoe.
contain Stu's shoe.
Yeah, I have no trouble accepting that and feeling like, yeah, I think maybe I've seen some in Mission Impossible as well.
I think that should have been Stu's Easter egg that Stu puts in all those things. Like I will often try to sneak my Instagram handle into like graffiti in the background of VFX shots that I'm doing for, say, famous rap artists. But I think slipping my shoe in there would be much funnier. So I think Stu's got way ahead of me on the humor end of Easter eggs.
I just put a hair material on it, right? Michael.
Well, the problem is hair materials can't be emissive.
Well,
Interesting.
So you would
Oh,
want
they
to
can't be
generate
emissive?
geometry. You'd want to generate geometry on that spline and then make it emissive. Now you could in Redshift. If you're using Redshift, you could make the spline just be emissive.
All right, I'm jumping back over to my screen for a second, where I did one of my favorite tricks, which is you create a bunch of point lights, and you can drag them all over like wherever you want, and then attach them to a central null like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the point lights, if you just go to their properties and change them all to spotlights, by default, their anchor point is going to be at 0, 0, 0, which is the center of the null. So now I have a bunch of lights all pointing right at whatever I parented it to. So now what I could do is I could make it so if I rotate that little spoke around, I can get this weird lighting kind of zooming all around my ship.
Nice.
And I'll maybe kind of parent it to the same kind of speed curve as the, whatchamacallit. Whoops. I'm looking at the wrong velocity curve here. Wait, why am I in this mode? I should be in... Oh, I am in the right mode. Adjust these curves so the lights slow down. I should have done the orientation. Whatever. Okay, let me maybe turn up some of these lights too. I'll make like one of them really bright. This one way back here that's like a rim light size thing.
There are a couple of tools that would make this a little easier for you. Ease copy is one, but I personally tend to use Flow for copying my ease curves from one thing to another, but also for generating ease curves in the first place. It is my one of my most used After Effects extensions.
Ooh.
It is docked in my main interface. So if you haven't checked out Flow by Zlovit, highly recommend.
Wait, let's see. Oh, I made some of these way too far away. I was just adding random numbers to them, or not adding random, I was just pushing them around, but I must have pushed this spotlight too far. All right, let's zero out its anchor point again, so it can create a little like rim light thingy. Okay, there we go. There's some more light that I wanted. Yeah.
Wait. You got to rewind. I want to see.
All right,
sorry.
There we go. And I need a little bit of flickering blue ambient light in the foreground, I think.
Oh man,
for sure.
Okay, so let's do that.
That's
light,
excellent.
Ambient. I'll just sample that color.
What's the name of the ship again? It's not the Enterprise. This one's the
that's Discovery, I think.
Discovery. Thank you.
You are welcome.
All right. How much ambient light should I throw on this thing?
See, so like I started out
much.
really fast, but now I'm getting into the weeds of trying to do everything in Cinema 4D, and you have. I think you're surpassing.
This is my
that
trick.
looks almost rendered.
It's practically done.
Yeah.
No, there are a lot of
the cool
things.
thing about Element is that it is full-on rendering. Like it's doing the full render all the time.
Oh. Wait a minute, you're using Element 3D?
I'm using Element 3D.
Oh no, that's.
I was going to start with Mirror, but we need a couple. Like I have the crappiest texture on this right now. It did not come in well.
Well, the cool thing is you can swap it out for an image with the correct textures if you wanted to try the re-importing it, or just reconnect all your textures and you should be good to go.
Yeah, I'm going to do an absurd, like different reflective material in here. And I'm going to add a little bit more reflectivity to some of these main pieces and a little bit, and some more glossiness and less glossiness from the thing. There we go. Now that's going to look nice and matte. Or not matte, more shiny, less matte. And then which one is this one?
Hey, have you put the HDR as the environment for your element scene?
I have not yet, and I started to, and I had a weird thing happen because I went over here, and I know that it's where is it? Oh my goodness gracious, there are too many things. Where's Grayscale Gorilla assets? So if I go to here and I grab space plus HDRIs, and I go to the Nebula D, let's see, that's 63 megabytes, and this is 2.5. I don't know if this underscore SM is a small copy of it.
It is.
Okay. So I load that in. It's an EXR file, and I'm reading nothing from it right now.
Well, load the big one. I'll see what happens.
And I'm trying to crank to see what info I can get from it.
That's odd.
Output levels. Yeah, this is what seemed to happen. It happened with both of them, so I don't quite know what happened.
Try importing it into After Effects as an EXR, then using it as a custom layer.
That's a good point.
Instead of importing it directly into Element.
All right, let's say, okay. So here's this. This already looks, there's too many lights. Wasn't that somebody's note in something like that? Too many notes. That's what I'm thinking of.
That's my note. Actually, I've done some projects recently that had way fewer notes than I expected. So I had a good run of
feeling.
Fairly noteless.
Oh, I made it way too shiny. Oh gosh, it's so shiny. All right, Darrin, feel free.
Just make it. Yeah, just knock the glossiness down a bit. I like the reflectiveness. It really makes it feel 3D.
Mm-hmm. You can tell it is like existing in a space somewhere. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's turn down the reflectivity a little bit so it's not so bright, and then turn up the glossy diffusion a little bit.
Yes.
There we go. Now,
look at that.
Now we're getting just enough. Yeah. Okay.
That flickery lighting is going to look so good. Yeah, it's looking so good on there.
So for the ambient light itself, actually on the light null, I'm going to add an expression control, slider control, and I'm going to set this at I don't know, 120 for now. And then I'm going to go over to my ambient light, and on its intensity, let's see, let's reveal that slider control over here in my timeline. And then on the intensity, I'll alt-click on that. Let me get out of this view. I'll click on this, and we'll say wiggle by, let's say 16. That'll be a very fast flicker, but by the slider amount. That way, I can have it not really flickering and just be set at whatever I start it out at, like 25, a little bit of ambient. And then I can keyframe up the amount that it's going to flicker starting now. So now the ambient should be flickering. I don't know if that's if it's doing enough. It may not be doing enough. Maybe I need to do it on the lights themselves too. In fact, I could copy this expression, right? Copy expression only, and then go to the lights and then paste it. And now, because they all have different random seeds by their index, it should be not flickering very much, flickering more, and then by the end, stop flickering so much when I turn it back down to 0. Did that make any sense? I'm just talking through random stuff. Yum, 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 yum.
That speed feels much better, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Oh, and then the next thing we've got to do is what happens right at the end.
Oh, hey, Kay's in the chat.
Kay is in the chat. Kay.
K, the GSGK, our K?
Our Kay. Everybody say hi to Kay in the chat.
Hi, Kay. Aw.
That's awesome. I see a random comment that is, who has a whale model? Did I miss that? Were we talking about something that made sense? Is this so we can do something from that one Star Trek?
That's the worst one.
Whoops. Okay. Darrin, would you like to share what you're up to?
I don't think I've made a lot of progress, but where'd my splines go? They were there. They were looking good, and they've disappeared on me.
Dog ate them.
Was it this one? Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
Oh, that's so cool.
Look at that.
Getting control over the speed here. But all right, here's my idea for rendering it. You ready?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. My idea is rendering it like hair, right? So I'm going to put a Cinema 4D hair material on it, which, as Michael correctly pointed out, is not emissive, right? But I can limit this light with no shadow to only include everything in here.
I like it.
Right? Here's the problem, however.
Trick.
It's not working.
Oh. It's not working.
And I don't. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm not sure if I actually need to do like I'm just missing something. Yeah. No. Here, render, enable mode.
It's so cool that those are in 3D.
Even know what this is. Are we watching me look at the help? Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah, this is instructional. When you need help on something, you right click help.
The help is right there. Yeah,
it's right there.
Yeah, I mean, it helps. All right, so maybe I actually need to put this into a connect.
Interesting.
I didn't see. Connect objects in Cinema 4D are kind of like pre-comps and After Effects in that they tend to fix a lot of problems, and even if you don't know exactly why it does it.
That is an excellent description of it.
Okay, now I'm putting the cloner in the connect. And let's try running again.
Stu says, wait, Darrin thinks ST4 is the worst? Fisticuffs at dawn, sir.
All right, well, I definitely don't want to piss off Stu. So I'm wrong. You're right, Stu. My bad.
Oh, don't cave like that.
No,
Stu,
man.
which one
Gotta
do
do
you
it.
think is the worst?
Oh, I can't wait.
All right, so back over
He
here,
says,
I added 2 keyframes to the ship just to slide it in the distance, and then another couple of keyframes for the camera. So now it'll do this. It'll slowly zooming in now, and then when
ooh,
it lands, it's going to start zooming off to.
yes.
Oh, that camera move is
Dude.
right on.
Oh my gosh!
See,
that's with no. I'm doing nothing special. I'm just rotating the camera right kind of where it is, which often is really helpful, especially for space shots, to anchor your camera somewhere because you have no point of reference for how close these stars are to anything. You have to look at foreground objects. I'm going to not monkey with this because I'll mess it up. I kind of like that the ship actually leads out a little bit too fast for the camera. Maybe I'll fix that curve a little bit.
Well, that's actually what would happen in reality.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Like there's that weird balance you have to decide, like, is your camera reacting to the world of the film, or is it an omniscient storytelling eye?
Can I tell you a little weird story? Not weird.
No.
All right,
Yes, of
I'm
course,
sorry. I
please,
won't then. No, I'm going to tell you. You have to hear it. You too, Michael. So when I first met Paul and Dr. Sassy and like everyone at Max on USA, I learned something from Dr. Sassy that shook me and changed everything. And
Which happens
was
every 5 minutes you talk to Dr. Sassy is a new bombshell of information that you didn't know about.
But
Anyway,
I always think of this one thing whenever I think of Dr. Sassy, because I was like, this is just ingenious. But anyway, it's just this exact same thing. When someone's holding a camera and they're following a flyby, the closer it gets to the camera, the harder it is to track because it's, because we're human. And he recreated that, with keys. And I was like, and it just, the feel of the animation was, completely different. And I'll never forget that. And it's just awesome. That's one of the cool things about Dr. Sassy is he has that depth of thought in whatever process he's engaging,
As someone who has done real world videography of aircraft flying by, I can confirm that as they get right up close to you, it becomes much harder to track them.
Thank you.
Because
awesome.
you've got it on a tripod. Like your panning speed is just wildly different as they come past you versus as they're approaching and departing. Like right at that moment they're passing you, like you have to be like, yeah, and you're never gonna get it.
Mm-hmm.
Without lots and lots and lots and lots of practice. And whoever this person floating in space is that's shooting this spaceship teleporting through multiverses or whatever it's doing, they're not going to be able to track the main part of the ship. So that is a good camera move.
Like every now and then I come across someone who is filming the camera operator at a sporting event. Mm-hmm. And like it'll be like behind the monitor, like their monitor, so you can watch them very quickly tracking something, and that does seem like an insane skill.
Yeah. I don't understand golf. I understand the sport in general, but I don't understand how the camera ops managed to track that tiny ball that's flying at 100 whatever miles per hour.
You just attach the point of interest to the ball.
Just make it a child.
I mean, we're not far off from that technology if we don't use that already. Like we've got those little things you set in your pocket, and the drone will.
I feel like that would set off the flight angle of the ball somewhat, strapping on a tracker.
Oh, I think it's necessary.
Stu says you should not kowtow to his demands. The whole point is to have a 6-hour argument about it.
Yes.
The whole point is
I'm not going to kowtow to that one either, Stu. So,
he didn't say kowtow. That was my translation.
What was that?
Andrew Smith wants some motion blur on there. Yeah,
there'll be motion blur, Andrew.
But
Smith.
yeah, don't you worry, Andrew Smith.
I'm gonna motion blur the hell out of it.
But I actually, to go back to the point of how this camera is moving, I believe that it is a decent mix between because it must be something of an omniscient storyteller, because it is jumping universes with the ship, just offset slightly.
That's a good point.
What have you got going on here, Darrin?
What?
What are all?
What's all this?
Wait, how come it looks all?
What's all these sparkly things?
Yeah, Michael, you were right. I'm sweeping it.
Yes, sweeping.
I want to admit it. I'm just sweeping it.
Wow, guys, that looks
just the
really
easiest way to
great.
make it work. Looks
You're
so
right.
good.
And, it's fast enough. You know what I'm saying? And I can totally just do that. I don't even need that many segments there.
Do you turn the caps off, right?
No, man. Why would I even mess with that? I never mess with that.
Pro tip, if you're sweeping a bunch of splines, turning the caps off significantly speeds up how it performs, because Cinema 4D is not having to try to generate these ending caps. So it will, in some scenes, make a giant difference in how fast it'll play back. Because calculating the caps on a sweep spline is really tricky, because having to build all these like N-Gani, weirdly tessellated geometry pieces on the end of every single spline point. So when you turn them off and Cinema 4D doesn't have to calculate them all, it just makes things run smooth out.
Okay. What I don't want is this. This is too intense. Maybe
Too intense for a space movie? A space show?
Now, this lightning is very unrealistic in its brightness levels in the reference. The reference footage has the lightning not blowing out really even a little bit, and in real life, but this isn't lightning. This is some sort of jumping thing. But yeah, look at that. That's like barely there.
So I can tell that instead of nebula in the background, they have universe fractal background.
They basically do.
So I'm just gonna say, because let just out of curiosity here. Wait, I don't want to. Let me turn off my. Wait, what? How do I turn off? Isn't there a way that I can turn off the lights so I don't have to see them?
Control Shift H.
And
turns off all the visibility of all layer controls.
And that's different than this, right? Oh, that's masks.
No, it's the same.
Okay. What? So that was there. Then why don't they go off when I turn it off, though? See, that's my issue, because I knew that I could turn them back on without that.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Just very annoying.
So we've got some of this going, but so we want to compare this first little bit. I swear to God, looks like. Let's see. Let's add a new solid. I'm going to make this solid a little bit bigger than the actual framing. So let's try 2400 by 2400. Actually, we can make it 1800. Okay. So we've got a black solid there, and we're going to go to background, universe fractal background. Okay. So here's one, but I'm going to click on choose presets. It's going to connect because now universe can load like any live updates and things like that for all of these different templates, which will load at warp speed.
Yeah, the first time you launch Universe Dashboard, it takes a second to get it up, because now it's being able to pull things down from the clouds.
From the cloud. Okay. What do we got? I thought there was one that's
really wanting some optical diffusion in Magic Bullet looks in the scene. Yes, Stu, we will definitely get to doing that here in a minute.
Let's see. Liquid. See, I felt like there was one that was actually that looked right out of the bat a lot more like it. So I'm gonna monkey with this one. I'm gonna turn its contrast down a bit.
For those who aren't aware, fractal background from Universe is a really cool way to get organic, just kind of flowy stuff, and
because it's already animated.
Easily loopable. You can have it animating all kinds of different ways, and you just set your loop point, and it will then loop for you. It's great.
So instead of cellular, I'm going to try. Nope.
But if you want to use it for an actual background, I don't like the results by themselves.
This is what I was looking
Chroma
for.
Town on top of it, or something else.
So I would
to give it a bit more.
I would want the contrast way down. Here, the scale has got to be much tinier. Anyway, this is the preset that I was remembering. I remembered this looked a little bit like that. Right? In its own way.
It is.
I mean,
has similarities.
I mean, you could add like a twist style turbulent displace that had a small size and a high amount, and then do a thing. Anyway, I'm not going to do that. We're going to use a. What should we use? We should use. I'll still use this black solid, but I'm going to turn it into a 3D card. Because then it'll still react to my camera. I'll put it down below element. And now, this is one of my favorite, we'll say, cheats. I like to just create 3D cards for things that are, that would have no real parallax. Because I do have this nice wraparound HDRI from Horizon, but I can also really specifically tailor what this part of the image looks like with a nice high resolution.
We can't see what you're pointing at, by the way.
Oh, no, we can't, huh? Well, heck. I'm just putting a big old card right here in 3D space. So that way you'll see that I have this card, which is most of the background here behind that ship. And then it's still reacting to the camera, as is Horizon out here. So as, we get to the point where the ship, let me hide all that stuff again, takes off, it can leave that nebula explosion stuff behind, but I can work in this smaller pre-comp to do all of my silly explosion stuff.
I think, looking at that, since we watched that reference for a little bit, that the reference image looked an awful lot like they were using Universe Camera Shake to get this camera movement in here. Like, that looks really Universe Camera Shake.
And there it zooms in a bit. And then they do
to make up for the Universe Camera Shake. They just keyframe the scale option on Universe Camera Shake to hide the edges that got shakier.
Oh my gosh!
This is 100%
someone at Paramount, let us know. Let us know if you have on the ensuite.
Oh, they have our tools, I'm sure.
They do. So I just want to know who added this camera shake.
Who used it? One of you used Universe Camera Shake, and it looks great.
Okay, so let's examine the background real quick here, because we've got, half an hour left if we want to spend the whole time?
Oh my gosh.
So I need to recreate this thing. And honestly, to me, it looks like a very straightforward one of these. Like they did fractal noise. Oops, it shouldn't be reacting to the light. But fractal noise, and I would probably use like dynamic noise, and then I would invert it. So now you have these kind of like little bright, fibery bits. And then on top of this whole thing, let's turn the complexity up and the scale up. So the complexity up will add a lot of little details, but then I actually do want the broader macro details to be bigger. So see, as I turn that up, if my complexity is down, it looks kind of muddy. But if I turn the complexity up, I get these very nice complexity, if you will. And,
for those who aren't aware of what's happening, fractal noise is just laying a bunch of different layers of noise on top of each other at different scales. And so the sub settings are determine how much the scale varies between the copies, and the complexity is how many copies of noise there are.
So if you were to jump like in a linear fashion between, like here's one. So this is the fractal.
That's just the noise by itself. 2 is 2 noises.
So
3 is 3 noises.
We'll jump incrementally. So now you can see several layers getting smaller, and I'm assuming additively combining to each other until you get to this. So you can see like that big blob is what's informing this bright spot here. It's not that the pattern has to get more dense there. It's just the way they layer up. And that's why if you do offset turbulence and check this perspective box and move them here, you can see all of the layers sliding
moving
on top of each other, which is kind of cool. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to go down to my turbulent displace, and I'm going to make the size really big on this. So big that it's just, as I maybe cycle the evolution a bit, you can see how big this distortion field is. And the reason I'm doing that is because when I look at this clip, I kind of see, let me pause it here. You can see that there's this sort of stretch here, this sort of curve there, and then there's a curve there. But they're actually staying kind of static, and there's just the noise is cycling. The evolution of the noise is cycling, but that pattern is staying the same. So I think that what I want to do is I want in After Effects to find, just the right amount, the size of something. Oh yeah, there. See, like you can cycle through the evolution until you find the right stretch points on this, but I feel like I had a good one a little while ago. Maybe I should use, I'm going to use turbulent, whatever.
Quick side note, there is a sneaky use of that perspective offset in fractal noise in a presentation I made for the Maxon's 3D motion show. The link of that is in the chat.
Nice. All right. So right around here, now I feel like I'm getting that, a bit of swoopiness. Yes. And all I have to do now is let's find a good evolution speed for this to go at. Let's just alt-click there, and I'll say time times, let's see, 250.
As someone coming from a very conservative Christian background, it took me a while to be okay with using evolution in fractal noise.
It's difficult. They're
supposed to not.
They don't teach it. Oh my God, that's fantastic. Okay. So now we have this swimmy background kind of thingy.
Which is looking real good, by the way.
So clip-wise, so here's where we get into some issues for Hashi here. That's supposed to be, it's like aqua-ish. I mean, what I would almost always do is add CC toner and just find something...
oh man, I'm really missing that CC toner drop right now.
Oh, it was CC ball action is the one.
Oh yeah.
All right,
but also very missed.
Now I'm missing that even more.
I can't when my chill partner is not here. It would feel wrong. But we can ask Seth like how this is feeling right now.
Wow, guys, that looks really great.
Harry Frank says just put Blockbuster on it and you're done. The Magic Bullet preset, I believe he's referring to. But no.
I will definitely be adding a top layer.
There is Universe Multitone that gives you a few more options for recoloring background images that might be fun.
Ooh.
But I feel like whatever you do here is going to look amazing once you pop it into.
Oh, wait. That's true.
You can pick 3 colors, by the way.
So if we did tritone,
tritone, yep.
Wait, what happens to this over time? So it's aqua-y, and then it's just flashing, and then there are those weird little rip points, and then the whole background rips away to this, like, what is this, brownish, reddish?
It's a reddish orange kind of look, like New York City right now with the smoke.
Oh my God, you're welcome from us up here.
Thank you, Canada.
Okay.
Actually, just smoke less.
Well, I would, but...
Speaking of how good fractal noise looks, there's a great tutorial from Hashi. It's a lovely cheap tricks episode that's about Captain Marvel energy effects that shows how to get fractal noise to do all kinds of really pretty things. And he uses fractal noise a bunch of different ways to do some great things.
Dude, go check it out. Let's see. What? I don't... This here's...
Your colors are not very close to it. It's a lot tealier. That's better. And like you need to be tealier and less purple in the dark ends.
Less purple, does that mean
on the darks?
On the darks. Okay.
Your lights need to be lighter and less saturated. Yeah, it's very purple right now. So pull down on the hue more into the blue. That's better.
Okay, so here maybe a little bit more contrast. Let me see.
A little more contrast and a little darker, I think, too.
Darker. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Oh, it's inverted.
Other direction. Yeah, other direction. Sorry, my bad. Bye-bye.
No, it makes sense. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Contrast is the top one. Oh, we're having fun, right, folks? So much fun. Let's see. I don't want that much contrast. In fact, I'm just going to leave that at 100.
Nope, I heard that.
Turn this down.
How are things going for you, Darrin?
I mean, I'm having fun. I'm like messing with stuff, but I'm afraid to look at what Hashi's doing because
he's just messing with making a cool fractal background behind the ship now to be the animated smoky mess. Because while you could do that in 3D, there's no reason to.
There's no reason to. That's always been my motto.
No, seriously,
in life,
there's no reason such a huge waste of time to do it in full 3D. Because
wait,
it's just
so you're
there.
telling me what I'm doing?
No.
Is a huge waste of my time.
No, what you're doing is right. Like you would want this in full 3D. But the background behind it, you definitely want to do in post because it's from that same angle, it tears away, and then you get the part that reacts to the camera move. Because that all is just one camera angle with universe camera shake on it, and then it tears away, and then you have the reactive background. So that whole first shot, there's no point in having any of that background be made in 3D. That is literally just a fractal noise combination of effects that then shatter away.
Okay, so let's see. So here's where we are. The color I'm not going to be great at, folks. We're just gonna. I don't know. What does it need, Michael?
A little bit less green.
A little bit less green.
And a little bit more luminance, but it's fine.
Luminance.
We're not trying to do an exact copy. We're just trying to get like close enough to show the technique.
That's a good point. Okay, so let's turn the.
Are you going to do the shatter rough and edges Vegas?
I think if I can, yeah. So here we go. Oh,
21 minutes.
21 minutes. It's no problem.
It's looking good so far. I mean, I
haven't thrown any of this into Super Comp.
I know what you're going to do with Super Comp on top of this, and it's going to look amazing.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Okay, so we've got this. It's weird because my turbulent displace, I know that it's stretching the edges, and so that's why we're getting these things on the edges.
Yes. So are you gonna unpin it?
I guess it's on the card, right? So I don't need to pin it. So
yeah.
There we go. So we'll do that, and we'll just scale up the card, which is still a very silly way to do this, but I like it. Okay.
I disagree. I think it works great.
It's great. It's going to be great. Okay, we'll call this the aqua-ish. I don't know. What color is this? Nebula. Aqua Nebula. Okay, now I'll play it. Okay, wait. Is it just the fractal noise evolution? Is it doing that much? That's too much. Because I don't want it to feel like it's... I mean, it's changing in the show, but I don't think it's changing that much, right? Because it was starting to give away... It was starting to look like Aqua.
There's really small... I think there's a smaller overlaid fractal noise that is animating, that is just like kind of barely adding detail that is animating, whereas the overall shape stays similar.
That makes sense.
Like maybe if you go into the compositing options and just on this effect right here and turn it down to like 50% opacity, that might just get it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The frequently overlooked compositing options in After Effects.
So down here under fractal noise,
at the bottom of your fractal of your turbulent displace or whatever.
All right. Oh, so it would have two copies of it, a little bit.
Basically.
I see what you mean. Okay, so in the turbulent displace, we'll go to the compositing options
and just turn the effect opacity down.
Yeah. So it builds in its own layer of complexity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Clever. Look at that. An extra layer of complexity. And maybe I could even turn the scale down a little bit more. Oh, maybe I could animate the scale down over time just a teeny bit during this effect. I know that's not necessarily what they do, but I kind of like that.
I think it would look good. Yeah,
building up toward this explosion here. Let's have the scale turn down like this, so it's like space and time are like bulging in toward them. Okay, let's try. Let's try. It. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, that gives it. That gives it a. You feel like it's what's drawing that stuff in. See, you just fractal noise and turbulent displace, everybody, and you're recreating this craziness. And then you realize it's just the set of the Paramount backlot.
Good. It's just a mountain of entertainment.
Well done.
So Hashi, are you going to do the shatter real quick and then super comp, or
That's
what's the
probably a
plan?
good idea. Okay.
Oh wait, you have to do the lightning real quick though.
Oh, the lightning. Oh yeah. So let's.
Yeah, I want to see how you're going to do that. The electricity.
Oh really? Real easy. I'm just going to go adjustment layer and universe electrify.
Yeah, rub it in. Rub it in.
Wait, are you seriously just putting on an adjustment layer, Hashi? Come on.
Why not? Let's see. And
I was thinking was VR fractal noise or some sort of fractal noise, polar coordinates.
Oh, so you could get like so you can get
so you would get like the lines coming from the middle.
You see, I don't think. Let's see. Noise plus image contours is what I'm going to do. That's going to be that setting, because noise means that it adds its own invisible layer of noise. Well, actually, let's show you just the noise. Here's just the fractal noise. It just does this. Okay. So even if this were all by itself over, I guess, a black solid, it does this. So you can see this fractal noise being revealed that it's using, okay? So let's focus on that for a second. Let's have the evolution speed be a little bit faster. So let's do that. That's kind of fast enough that I can't really resolve what it's doing, and I want the fractal scale to be bigger. Whoops, no, not that. I want it to be bigger, so it's, yeah, there we go. Like sweeping the screen big. And it's, that's probably okay. I maybe want the evolution speed a little bit crazy faster. And I'll turn the brightness down a little bit, so I just get these teenier wisps. And now I'm getting this kind of a thing. So it's okay. It's a little bit weird. But if I click and maybe add some, I don't know, add some rotation to the fractal noise over time, then it'll give it a center just by motion a little bit. So now there's a hint of it moving in the same direction.
This is such a clever way to get to this, Hash.
And then if I reveal, actually you can see it better if I do this. Noise plus image contours. Watch what's going to happen now. Now, as I play through, every now and then, no, it's less cool than I wanted it to be.
Well, the problem is that your image doesn't have much contour in it, so the contour blows through really fast.
Good point. So in theory, yeah, like what I was hoping was that I would have this plus the image contours doing more stuff. If you're photosensitive, please. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do this. We're just going to use this top electrify that's just the image contours. Not the image contours, the fractal noise. And then on the element layer, I'm going to add electrify.
Nice.
And then look what that's going to do. Let me turn off this top one. Here's electrify at the default settings. Yoop. So I'm really specific on the...
Because it's so dark. So what you need to do is, to do which I want, I think I know what you're wanting to do. You need to make there be a lot more depth, not depth, but like,
let's see,
gray.
I'll do noise scale. Plus, oh wait, I didn't know this. So if I did just fractal noise on this, it stays within the alpha because this has no alpha out here. So I'm going to say noise plus image contour. No, it's going to do...
Now you can specify the image contour is the alpha instead of just intensity, wherever it's going off of too.
I do like it going off of the intensity. So let's see, where are my settings for that? Distortion settings, I thought they were edge settings. Source...
Harry Frank, we're still in the chat.
Wait, fractal noise settings, evolution, offset, and speed. Well, first I'll turn this brightness way down because I just want a teeny bit. Because look at that.
Oh, that looks so good.
Okay, so now I want to favor that because what it's doing is it's like over time it's cycling through this. Oh, maybe I'll turn the evolution speed down to 0.
I'm sorry, guys. I've been in my own world over here. So are you doing like the reflections right now? Of the lightning?
I'm doing just lightning that'll be right on the ship.
Okay.
So here's what I'm doing as my hack. I turned the evolution speed down to 0. That means that the evolution offset is purely what is controlling which contours are getting grabbed by luminance. Okay? So right now it's just going off of luminance. So that will give itself away pretty quickly. But what's kind of cool is sort of like with Colorama, if you're shifting a whole cycle, if I scroll the evolution offset from, let's see, there's going to be a low tolerance here, from about 19 there to, and this will vary by the luminance on your, in your specific comp. If I turn it up a little bit, no, I want to turn it down a little bit, down to 9 there. So now it's going to, over the course of this time, go from highlighting these level of brightnesses at 25, and then it's going to cycle all the way down to highlighting different bits. So now I have really specific lightning just on that, and then on top of that, I will have these lightning strips, which I'm going to do much less bright. It's probably in the glow intensity. Let me turn the glow intensity down and the glow radius down a little bit. And
I think you do like a reverse bulge on this to make them pull in towards the middle, so it looks like they're coming out from the ship. Would really help sell it.
Okay,
but it's looking so good, Hashi.
So in that case, you know what? This electrify, I could, instead of putting on an adjustment layer, because I don't need any information below, I could probably put it as my last effect on my card. What would happen then? Now
it wouldn't go over the ship, though.
Well, the ship has its own.
Oh, but yeah.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say on my electrify. Oh my gosh, I know we don't have a lot of time. Darrin, I'm being a terrible host. I'm just having fun.
Oh no, man, it's all good. Don't worry about it.
I'm just going to jump over here.
I'm more interested in how yours is going to end up now.
Fractal noise scale will start big and then get bigger, because that'll look like it's shrinking inward. Okay, let's see. So now it is a little weird that this lightning is all behind it. But I kind of like it. Actually, what if I
really like the surface discharge. I think that's selling it.
This stuff turned out really well. If you want to see a more thoughtful version of this, I think I go over it a little bit in the Sonic cheap tricks. Though I think that the Sonic cheap tricks may have still predated Electrify, and then by the time we did Bill and Ted, and I realized I want an effect that can do electricity like this, we had Harry Frank build it for us.
Yeah, that's right. You've done this effect before.
So this is very much like, right now, the aesthetic of these is less like modern filmmaking and more like classic 80s roto electricity right now, which I kind of like. But I do want to make it look like a modern image. So what do I want? Is it just the brightness?
You need that glow. The glow needs to be gone. You need to be using the glow in Super Comp instead of the glow in Electrify.
Okay, so
speaking of which, we got 10 minutes to Super Comp this.
10 minutes
Foreshadow the background.
Okay, so now we have a little bit of electricity. Oh, is it not bright enough? I guess I can fix that in Super Comp. Oh, let me turn off the glow on this fractal noise too. On this
Hashi,
Electrify.
If you want to be able to have Hashi, if you want to have full control over Electrify and Super Comp, I would use the calculations effect to copy the result from Element onto a separate layer, and then use the compositing options in Electrify to just generate the Electrify. That way, you don't have to make 2 copies of your Element layer, and you have the electricity on its own layer by itself for fuller control.
That is probably a better idea. I'm going to do that. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to kill these. Whoops. Okay, so now I have an electrify layer, which I'll call electricity. We'll have the Aqua Nebula, which won't have its own electrify. This blending mode will be additive. So now it's in 3D. And now that it's its own thing, after the electrify, I could do something like distort, twirl, and turn up a little bit of twirl. So look at that.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, I'll keyframe it from here. I know I don't have a lot of time. Here, and then by the end, I want it to twist up a little bit like that.
Yes.
So there we go. And it should ease out of this stuff. Okay, so let's see the raw elements we have right now. Some electricity that's really specific to the ship. The twirl is starting to come in, and it's sort of working at the same speed as the slowdown there. And then, okay, how does it build up again in the clip? Electricity is zooming all around. Okay, so Darrin had something that I am totally missing, which is how much it emanated from the center of that.
I really think it's tropical particular. I really do.
I would believe it. Okay, so the explosion moment, boom. Okay, so now that we only have 8-ish minutes, that means I feel like we've got to do the fastest version of this possible, which means that I will do the equivalent of like a call a friend thing here. Let's go to some action essentials, shockwaves. I'm just going to grab some of these. One of these will work, right? Oh no, these are too smoky.
Yeah, they're all very smoky.
Oh, what am I thinking of? Is it Action VFX?
There's some good energy. There's some good energy blasts in Action VFX. Yeah, I just used them on a bit for a video game related VFX spot.
Do I have any saved on this computer already? Oh, nuts. Okay, so we're going to try to make one of these shockwaves work. Yeah, these are all very particly. That one could work. Okay. So we're just going to use a shockwave, like a VFX simp. Boom, and then... Okay, shockwave, you're going to be really big, but in Supercom, I'm going to do something. This is not even going to be a 3D layer. Check it out. And I guess it sort of comes from the center, probably, right? I don't know. And then let's add a new light that's behind everything, a spotlight that is, oh gosh, orangey. And is, where are you going to be? You're going to be positioned way back here, pointing forward. And you're going to be opened up, and let's see. Why do I not see you more now?
You've got about 6 minutes, Darrin, so if you can get yourself to your best position to show off in like 5 minutes, great.
All right, I'll see what I can do for you lovely people.
You can do it.
I mean, I had such high hopes.
I mean, your lightning is fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
I like that rig. It's a cheeky rig.
And like it's an awesome flex that you can be like, and I'll just switch to this other angle of this over here.
Well, that's the cool thing about building something in 3D. You can just be like, oh, well, or from over here.
I gotta say, guys, I regret not doing this in Redshift.
That is pretty much me every time I start a project in Standard. I'm like, crap.
Yeah, I mean, everything that I want to add now to make it look really good and get a render out to you quickly, like it's not. I'm not going to be able to get an animation out quickly, looking as good as I know I'd have it in Redshift.
Well, you don't need to get an animation out quickly. Just show us the play blast of what you got. Make sure the lighting looks good and whatnot. Then for a final render, you can kick it later, and we'll post it on social media next week sometime.
The social needs.
It's gonna. I mean, look, man. Whatever I have in the end, it's going to be great for everybody.
It's going to be amazing.
Whether or not it's exactly what I wanted in the end, that's another thing. But I love I was able to like show like the capsules that we've been getting, and the Mo instance and the drawbacks of it to the cloner, and just sort of the straightforward keyframing, and
it looks great, man.
I'm pretty happy. There's actually some things I did end up getting into here that you guys haven't seen yet. I'd like to show.
Well, talk us through it. We got 3
Talk us through it. Yeah, I'm just messing with shadow settings. Yeah, you're up.
Here's what's going on. First of all, I do have the lightning ramping up all around, which is nice. But here's something that let me see if I can remember this frame. So I actually have in the compositing tag, I'm excluding one of these lightning sweeps from reflecting, and that's the one that we were seeing. And then I have another one that's is reflecting, but it's not seen by camera. And did I have noise on or denoiser? Well, shoot, now I'm not seeing it. Let me render that. Yeah, okay, I messed that up. But yeah, I started to get motion blur. Let me show my picture viewer. Shift F6, and it's not there. Is it this? Where's my motion blur? There we go. So I started to get some motion blur in here, and then I was like, oh, I need to change something, and then I lost it.
Nice.
Yeah. But I think it's a really good start. I wish I would have
seriously
prepped. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, yeah. I asked Darrin to be on the show this morning when I
brand.
couldn't identify what show that the thing was from. So, Darrin, you've done amazing. Everybody throw some love in the chat for Darrin. This was amazing.
Oh, that's not necessary.
It is.
It is necessary.
It is right
Thank you,
now.
everybody. Thank you.
All of you. Okay, so check this out. I've added the shatter effect. I used the glass pattern, and I put it right here, and I keyframed the radius. The radius is what you animate if you want it to stay still and then suddenly do something. So this thing will be in a space, and then suddenly it'll go like that.
Excellent.
Which is great. And let me see. I'm going to make the radius happen even faster, so you have more break.
Oh no. Just yeah. So it just goes. Boosh. Oh yeah, look at that.
And then watch this. This is our fun trick from the 101 Dalmatians episode or whatever.
I'm having Lawnmower Man flashbacks.
So now we add some roughen edges. Check this out. Maybe some spiky edges. And watch this. As I turn up the border, but turn down the edge, turn up the edge sharpness and turn down the scale, I'll get these jaggy things like that. And let's turn let's have the border be 0 at the beginning. Whoops, that was supposed to be 0. And then by the time it gets bigger like this, dial up the border to a little bit bigger like that. Oh, and then I'm going to drag this keyframe to taste, kind of. Dude. So now instead of little polygons, like after it starts to split, you start getting this, like a rip. So
I think the radius was a little too big.
Yeah.
And the scale's a little too... Yeah, that's better.
There we go. So
yeah, but
some
that's...
more...
Yes.
Because honestly, like these things were faked to watch. Or like not faked, but like, look. They are a little like scraps that just kind of go... shoop. And then they disappear. So we're going to do that. We're going to do exactly your trick, Michael, which was, let's see how to, wait. Oh, I got to show what I'm doing. Okay, yeah, we're basically at time. So we do appreciate you all hanging out with us. Let me see, strength. I'm going to turn up the strength of the explosion to a little bit faster. Oh, nope. Boom. Okay, this is fine. You get the idea.
I think that scale of the fractal noise needs to scooch. Yeah.
Okay, let me turn up the number of repetitions in the glass pattern, and the scale of the fractal noise should kind of work with that. That's still a little bit big. Scale. No, we want it to just be hitting it a little bit like that. There we go. And now let's do the Vegas effect. Michael, you were such a genius for this. All right, so
you just switch the image contour from intensity down to alpha, and there's a whole image contour section to scroll down.
Tons of use instead of intensity, alpha. Yeah. Look at that! Now
and it just gives you these little edges. It's so dumb.
So great.
So dumb.
This is one of the happiest things that I've learned from having Michael on the show is these sparks. Because they're nothing, but then when it shatters, look, they're little glowy edges.
So
once these get
is
super
that like
comped,
is that
what Vegas does
After Effects thing?
Yeah, it's a native After Effects thing. What it does is it just puts little lines around whatever contours you're specifying, and you can say I want one segment, or in this by default it's like 30 segments, and so you just get this like little chunkity, chunky like outline on whatever contours. Now natively it goes on intensity, so you get this weird look, but when you pop it onto the alpha, it just works.
Hashi, that's great, man.
Okay.
Hashi, are you going to super comp it in like 2 seconds?
Basically, yeah. So what I've got to really quickly do is I'm going to pre-comp my actual 3D layers, which is only 2, remarkably. So let's pre-comp these both. And the reason I'm doing that is because After Effects needs to treat them like flat layers. So now it will. This should look exactly the same. And this should look very goofy right now. All this.
Yes.
But
yes.
You just wait.
Do. Okay, have I saved? I should probably save.
Oh, have you not saved anything yet? Hashi.
No, I've saved. I saved broadly.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to grab 5 of these or whatever, however many, and then let's go to Effect. VFX, Super Comp. Oh gosh, this is so great. Okay, so here we go. Now, everything that I was doing a second ago is now being rendered to this top solid layer with Super Comp on it. And we're going to try to make some stuff look better. So let's go to the beginning of the shot and take a look at what this area looks like. Right now, so we've got element in here, and that's the ship in the foreground. Man, the ship is the foreground of everything? That's wild. Okay, so let's look at the ship, and electrify right now is a normal layer, but I'm going to change that to being an additive layer. And the same for the shockwave. Okay, it looks like it already picked up that it was supposed to be an additive layer. The nebula back here is just supposed to be normal, but how about we dive to the end here where it's exploding. Where's that shatter moment? Okay, during the shatter moment, I'm going to look at this Vegas effect, which looks very janky right now, but I'm going to grab some optical glow, and I'm going to dial up the highlights only dial until I'm just getting I just want optical glow on a few of these sparks and not on anything else. Oh gosh, they look like little Atari
You can change
ghosts.
the color. I would change the color of the sparks to be less like on the Vegas effect.
Oh yeah, good point.
Be more.
Okay, so that's in here. Effects, Vegas. Let's look at their colors. Rendering.
Just give it like a kind of an orangey, but pull it away from the center because you want optical glow. The more information you have in every color channel, the more glowy it's going to be.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's change the midpoint opacity a little bit.
Overly saturated things will never glow the way you want them to.
Whoops. Oh gosh, that's terrible. Wait, what do I want to do? I want to... I don't remember if you can offset Vegas to be less...
Less what?
Uniform.
You can make this... yes.
Actually, just doing this helps.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Glowy edges for just a second on that. That's the least important one. But horizon, the nebula, I also do want to have some... what should we do? Let's just go to presets. Integration. Hazy integration. Foggy integration for the ship. Now it's taking on some random color from the background. And the shockwave, let's colorize it. Let's colorize it to be more, I don't know, reddish when that happens. I don't know what I'm doing right now, Michael. I have no idea what I'm doing.
You're pushing into orangey yellow colors,
okay,
which is fine because it matches the background we're going.
Do that. We're going to add some heat blur to it, like that.
Yes,
we're
heat
going
blur.
To, on the layer itself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to add some radial fast blur, baby. Look at that. 90s television effects for you. And then on the electricity, let's go ahead and add some both heat blur and optical glow on that. So we're getting this. Oh, here's
much bigger, bigger size.
Yes, let's size up, amount down a little bit. This is a very weird frame to have frozen on, actually, because let me go back to what this area is looking like. So this area, I'm getting too much. I added like a spotlight that was supposed to add some glow, but it wasn't supposed to happen until here. There we go. I don't know. What am I trying to do here? Element, I want to have a little bit more light wrap on that's really strong, so I can get some from the lightning.
I still think you need to pull. I still think you need the electricity to be a separate layer from the ship, so you can give it more of a glow instead of glowing the ship, because the ship will glow too.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't.
So
realize that.
what I was saying is make a new layer in After Effects using the calculations effect, and that way you can copy the output from your element layer, and then put electrify on that.
Okay, wait. So let me see. So can I leave it on the element layer?
I would turn the electricity off. Well, what I would do is turn the electricity off on the element layer, just because having it on there is handy. Duplicate the whole layer, but turn everything off except for electricity, which you turn, like, delete everything off the. Hang on. So let's go step by step.
Okay, so we've got our element layer here.
Yeah, go to your effects controls panel.
It's in a different place than usual.
And so just turn the electricity off.
All right. Boop.
And duplicate the layer.
Okay.
And then delete everything off of it except the electricity. Like, delete everything. And now turn on, hit solo the layer so we can see what's happening.
Okay.
Right now you just got black. So add the calculations effect.
I don't even know what calculations is.
And then put it at the beginning. And choose your layer to be second layer controls, make it be your element layer with effects and masks, and then turn the opacity up.
Oh,
on
so
second layer
this
opacity.
is. I usually do this
give you
with
a copy
set
of that
mat, with
layer.
like the set mats. That's so silly.
This gets you the full. This gets you the full pixel information of
that's
that layer.
Great. So we'll call this electricity ship.
And then in the output setting again, solo that layer again to make sure you're just getting it.
Okay.
And go to the settings on electrify, to the composition settings on electrify, to make it so you're just getting the electricity.
Oh yes. Okay. Clever.
Like in the very bottom part. Yeah.
Blend
Instead
mode,
of
none.
Yeah. So you're just electricity, and then bring that into super comp. You can control the electricity separately from the ship. But then if you change anything in your element layer, it'll be reflected, because it's just basically copying the output from that layer onto this.
Great. Oh, thanks, Michael. Okay, so we'll go back to this.
Calculations is not better is better than setmat in that you get the RGB information as well as the alpha.
That
is
pretty cool.
It is better than setmat. But for this, if you just want the mat from a layer to affect another layer, the setmat is faster. So it is better for that.
All right.
Calculations has few more steps to do.
Gotcha. First of all, I'm just going to drain the saturation a little bit in super comp, and then I'm going to add the optical glow. Yes. Okay. We'll turn the amount down to like a very small number. Turn the radius up. Amount down.
Like way up. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. We're getting more of something now. This nebula, I feel like I want it to have a little bit more oomph now. Can I turn down the gray point and turn up the white point a little bit? I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, let's see, just out of curiosity, what the heck is going on at this point. Okay, we'll do a little RAM preview here. Do we still call them RAM previews? I don't know. No.
They are technically not called RAM previews, even though they are caching to RAM. So I don't see why they're not called. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Oops, oh, that is intense. That I would keyframe that differently. Oh man, this looks so my nebula looks so disconnected from the ship right now.
Well, it's stuff that definitely needs to be tweaked. If you had more time, what would you do to make it feel more connected?
That's a good question. I think that they had a little bit more variety and brightness. I think I turned my contrast down a little bit too much to get to the right color palette, but it doesn't have any like highlighty things. They also have some cool little like orange variation? Bits of that would be good. I could probably use like the Horizon Nebula map and kind of multiply it through that a little bit. If you can ever just use some random organic image to and blur it out and add its color influence to something, you can make stuff look a lot less uniform, a little bit more realistic. Oh, yes.
Oh, man. Wow.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, I don't think I turn off.
I love that.
Electrify.
I want it to almost be the other way around. I want it to start here. That looks awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I love that twirl. That twirl really adds a cool look to things.
So now what I should have done is I should have had the electricity on both of those things key up and key down. Okay, so here's what we got, everybody.
That end bit looks really good.
Yeah. Wow. Great job, man.
Thank you very much. And I also think, what were the next steps that you would have taken if you were working on your end?
I would have converted it to Redshift.
Ah, yes, the Redshift.
Yeah, I would have converted the materials to Redshift. There's only 2 of them, and converted the lights, and that would have greatly simplified what I was trying to do with the hair. Mm-hmm. Or not with the hair, with the splines. There's additional control when rendering splines to for like interpolation and stuff with Redshift, which is really great. But
I think the Vegas effect needs to have much shorter lines.
Yes.
more of a space between the lines too. Some more dashes on them.
Okay, so let's see in here.
Like there's an option to have the lines be shorter.
Excellent. So Vegas effect. If you take anything away from this episode, it should be. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So just
much better.
Little bits.
I do have.
Oh, do you have stuff?
I will say if you go back to the reference, there's those little yellow flashes in the clouds. They look an awful lot like the advanced lightning effect from Video Copilot, that tutorial.
Oh, like
speaking
the
of it,
ball lightning, those little flashes there.
Those little things, they look 100% like the advanced lightning tutorial from Video Copilot. Speaking of Video Copilot, if you want to hear from Andrew Kramer himself, if you come to the design and animation tour, he will be part of the Connect panel.
What?
The link is in the chat.
That is awesome.
So I do have I did get a render out, you guys, but for some reason I lost my motion blur.
It's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It would have made your render take long.
I think it's I'm happy with it.
Oh, dude. I mean, you could throw some optical glow on that and be tremendously further along. Like that's
all it needs.
Awesome. You could probably even add a magic bullet.
I wish I could have just handed it off to you, Hashi, so that you could have picked it up and then just carried it forward with everything else you were doing.
Wait, so in the spirit of cooperation, like in the future, you could have multiple artists work on something to get the benefit of all of their artistry together. Because I like the accuracy of your ship rotation a lot better, and the fact that the lightning is volumetric, because you can tell that it's behind and in front and all that, and that really matters. On mine, it's a little jank.
Yeah, I mean, we can see the lack of samples isn't that appealing, but it's definitely reflecting on the surface, which is one thing that is not happening in the original shot.
To answer you there's a question in the chat. Yes, Andrew's still doing panels and stuff, and they are still working on new software over there at Video Copilot. It's just taking a while. The website has updated recently because they added MFR support to their plugins as well as Apple Silicon support. So they're still there.
Still around.
And yes, Andrew Kramer, and me, and a bunch of other folks are going to be at Design Animation Tour at Nashville this Sunday.
That is
now, as far as the Star Trek stuff goes, I think there's so much we didn't get to touch on today, but considering that after all, our chatter at the beginning had about 90 minutes to pull this together, I think both of y'all got us some really, really great results in like a tiny amount of time.
It is a lot of fun. Like I think the thing that I ignored the most is any attention to lighting, like really, because like there's a lot more that I could do to make this ship a little bit more defined. Like right now, it's just got random lights kind of spinning around it, and the it ends up pretty dark and muddy. And And also, yeah, all of the Electrify is a little bit too saturated. But even something that is a little bit ugly in terms of how all the colors are blending together can often be brought together by like a Magic Bullet looks, like squeezer on top of it, which is pretty cool. Because like even I can tell that these colors are funky. But I think we had a lot of fun. What do you think, Seth?
Wow, guys, that looks really great.
Oh,
Real
thanks,
Seth?
man. Yeah, it's such a positive, consistent, positive.
We can't see him, but at least
Wow,
we can hear
guys,
him.
that looks really great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this has been really, really wonderful. Thank you all so much for contributing to the show. Thank you, Saxon13. I assume that is the Saxism from Twitter who suggested this. This was a lot of fun to do, and it was fun to actually do a Star Trek for the first time. Thank you very much, Darrin Frankovitz, who I've been saying
welcome.
your name wrong every time I said it before on the show when I mentioned that you were helping behind the scenes. But we did it, everyone. We did it.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Take care.